Natasha and thank you so much for joining me today. Well, I had everything out on my desk and it just felt like the right thing to do that we should do some stamp kissing today. So this is a really easy technique. You likely have everything good to go, but one thing you do pretty much need is a bold, solid stamp. Now this is the Floral Silhouettes from Hero Arts. I have chosen that kind of big one in the middle to pop on my stamp block. And then I'm going to choose some detailed stamps. Now these don't have to be background stamps at all. This one that I have here is called the Pearl Strings Bold Prints. But you could also use even a print one like this. This is called, I think it's Novel Prints. I mean, you could just use any stamp. You could use anything that has some kind of finer detail to it, some intricate detail. It could just be another regular stamp as well. It does not have to be a background stamp whatsoever. And we are going to make a pretty quick and simple card today. But these are my kind of go-to cards, and I also changed my mind halfway through this one as per usual. So I do leave some of these things in. I like to leave them in to let you know that this is exactly how my mind works too. I change my mind all the time when I am in the middle of card making. Sometimes I try and stick with my original plan, and then other times I just go off on that tangent. So I have chosen two colors here of ink. I'm using the VersaFine Clair inks because they stamp beautifully. They are a pigment ink. I'm going to stamp first in the Warm Breeze color, but I want it to be lighter. So I stamped off on that excess piece of paper there, the scrap to the side. And then you'll see that my mask that I popped down, the circle, this is going to come off every single time because I have no ink on that part of the stamp, but it's really just a very rough guide for me. Next up, I have two colors of the green. So the darker one, I'm going to pop in a different space on my background stamp. Stamp into the lighter ink, and this one is going to be just fine. So then I kiss it against the background stamp, which has the darker ink, and then you are going to see that gorgeous pattern appear on this one too. And then last off, I have got two kind of purpley colors. One of them is Purple Delight and the other is Monarch. And I am going to stamp off with this one too. So stamp off and then use second generation inking. I just wasn't sure at this point if I had done the leaf, so that's why I had to re-stamp it. And then stamp it into the darker purple, stamp this down, and then it looks like you kind of have a stamp that has all of that darker pattern on the inside. As I said, you can do this with any stamp that you want to stamp it into. It does not have to be a background stamp. It could be another flower stamp that you've repeated the pattern. It could just be a swirly kind of one. That would look really nice too. It could be anything, so give it a go with what you have. Of course, this is going to work with any inks at all. You can just have a bit of a play and see how you go. What my preference is usually to have a darker ink and a lighter ink, or two different kind of colors, just making sure that you don't get kind of a weird brown mix as well. So have a play around and kind of see what works for you. I decided to repeat this little pattern here, and I'm just using kind of the head of this flower. Now really this is just a decoration, and you can see I have a gorgeous circle ready to go. It is not necessarily meant to be a flower, but I still like how this card turned out. So I had two circles here. These had been previously cut from my Hero Arts Infinity circle dies. These are just stacking circle dies. And then I love the spotlight sayings. I love all of these, and even better, they fit on circles so well. And I think at the time I was looking for something like that, when you just have this gorgeous sentiment and I wanted it to kind of squeeze onto circles. These work perfectly. So this one just says, have a happy day. I can use this for lots of different occasions, and I really love creating versatile cards. Now I decided to take the bigger circle here, and I'm using some yellow. And when I put these two together, it looks fine. It looks absolutely fine. I take some of the green, which is actually the same green that I used on my background, and just very, very, very lightly going around the edge here. I don't really want the ink to impinge on the words, so just very much sticking to the edge. Then when I started this, I did not like the yellow. It was bringing in a whole new color. It had nothing to do with the background. It didn't even suit, so I turned it over and just used the clear side, and I like that so much better. Now from here, I did decide that because this is a pretty plain and simple card, and we just did our stamp kissing technique, I'm going to pop this up on some foam. I have so many of these foam strips to use up, and I have absolutely not an ounce of foam tape left in my stash. I have used everything. I actually really need to order some more, so that's on my to-do list. Here I'm also going to pop up a little bit of foam. If you take the release paper off, your foam strips are going to go bend around in a circle beautifully. If you leave the release paper on the back, then it definitely makes your job a little bit trickier. But I popped plenty of foam, and then you can see that this just pops in the middle, and it covers up all of those kind of bottom bits of the flowers that we stamped as well. So it all looks neat and tidy. Now I did just want to show you one little trick here with these glass droplets. These are actually acrylic. They're very, very lightweight, but they just look like little water droplets to me. You can also color these with your alcohol markers or alcohol inks, depending on what your preference is. I just take an alcohol marker and kind of give it a swish around on the top. Sometimes you can do it on the bottom, it just depends. Sometimes this is just as easy for me. And I'm going to match some of these just a little bit. So they almost look like little coloured water droplets. I wouldn't say they don't turn opaque, they're still pretty transparent, but I like them, it just gives them that little tinge of colour. Now I did some green ones and I did some blue ones, but once I popped them on to my background, I kind of thought I ended up liking the green ones just a little bit better. So I don't even think I used the blue ones for this one, and I'm going to pop just a couple in the corners. I have my wax pencil and some really strong glue. A very small dab of this is going to do the job to keep these little water droplets on, and they are not going to go anywhere. So this is my card today. I hope you have enjoyed the stamp kissing technique. Down below, I always have any of the supplies that I've used in the video. They will be linked down below. If you're interested in supporting me, I have a link to my Buy Me a Coffee page, and that will be down there too. But other than that, thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for commenting and liking. These are all things that mean so much to me. I love uploading my videos here. I love creating with you guys, and I appreciate every single thing that you guys do for me. So thank you, and I will see you